This build is all about torque, traction, and control. And it all starts here with the MEUS Gold Rush chassis. I'm Simon. This is Forever Young RC. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to get started with this ground up build, the MEUS Gold Rush chassis. No RTR shortcuts here. This one starts with bare rails and being built from the ground up. Here we go. Before everything else goes in, motor, axles, wheels, tires, the chassis determines how well everything else will work. So we've got your beautiful chassis rails right here with the gold. Got everything you need. Got the sliders, got the transmission, spur gear. Got all my parts laid out right here. Really pretty, right? Got the gold in here. All the gold specs with the gold. Got the gold in here. All the gold specs. I really like the idea that they give you multiple points to mount whatever winch you want. They give you a point here to mount a mini winch, or they give you one up here to mount a full size. I do have an issue with this, oh, I forget what they're called, where the winch hole where it goes through, oh, whatever. It's pretty rough, so that will probably have to be beveled out on both sides, you know, deburred and sanded down some. You can see it's just a small hole. The instructions here, instructions were pretty good. They could, you know, use a little bit more tilt to give a little bit more imaging on the placement of stuff. When you get to the body post and things like that, it's you kind of mount it where you need it when you get your body. Quirks that I did have was the one with the winch I told you about, and this drive shaft angle here. That's a pretty steep drive shaft angle. You know, I don't think it'll be an issue, so if it's not an issue, whatever, don't let it bug you, right? Right. The last little issue I had is you're putting 3mm bolts in here. Just put 3mm bolts in the motor mounts instead of making them 2.5. Make them all the same as much as possible. These here. I went and I replaced bolts with stainless steel. I kind of like to do that for rust purposes. Show you what I've found with the links. Let me know in the comments if you guys have ever done this build, and if you have, how you did your links, and I'm going to show you how I did mine. For the front links here, I put these on the outside. And also let me know in the comments too, what is the thing that you struggle with the most when you do a build like this? Is it the chassis? Is it gearing? Is it shocks? Is it the links? Because for me, it's the links. Links always take me way longer than I feel like they should. These were no exception, especially these MEUS links, even on the smaller rigs. Now don't get me wrong, I like the little heads on them. They have a little bend to them, so you got to get those situated and sorted out. I wound up putting my two front short links, the upper links, on the outer part of the chassis over here, so I would have clearance for my drive shaft right here. When I do mock-ups like this, I don't bother with the sliders, because the sliders are just going to get in your way when you're having to take out the skid plate back and forth and putting these lower links, adjusting those back and forth. The little thing that did trip me up on these Capra axles is this little link holder right here. I kept looking at this other side because it's fixed on the axle. I kept looking at the other side saying, where in the world do they want me to put the right link? And eventually I looked hard enough and I found the little U-shaped bracket that comes with the kit, put it on there, and Bob's your uncle. The back links are pretty much where you'd expect them. I might adjust them a hole or two here or there, but it looks like I'm going to have plenty of clearance for my drive shaft, and my drive shaft angle looks like it's going to be satisfactory. Okay, so let's move on. I have changed my mind on what I'm going to do for the shocks. I forgot I have two sets of Desert Lizards, one 110 millimeters and another 100 millimeter set. I'm going to rebuild the 100 millimeter set. Okay, when building these Desert Lizards, I use the weakest springs in the box. As you can see right here, I have the shortest one on the inside of the piston. What that's going to do is that's going to give me just a little bit of droop. And then I'm going to use the medium size one on the outside of the piston. That's going to give me just a little bit of the droop setup that I want, but not full droop. Now I'm using the 37.5 weight Team Losi oil, silicone oil. Most of the time, this is the type of oil I used. I've just always used it in my racing days, and it seems to be a real consistent oil. Now, these Desert Lizards are pretty finicky sometimes to get the oil fill right or fill them with oil. I feel that when I fill the oil just to about, I don't know, 5 or 6 millimeters underneath the threads, that usually gives me a pretty good bleed out rate. So you spin it, look around for the little crease in there, tighten it down, leave a little bit of thread sticking out, and you want to pump that oil and air out of there. Pump it until, you know, enough oil is coming out and you can cinch it down with the shock piston fully compressed. And then when you cycle it back and forth, you don't want to get any hydro lock with the shaft. What I will say is, after I got these all built and put on the rig and went and tried it out, it was undersprung in the front for the weight that I had put on there. So I went back and I rebuilt them again, and I resprung them. I put the middle weight shock spring on there. Okay, I want to talk about three things real quick: the drive shafts, the shocks, and the servo placement. First one, the drive shafts. I got two drive shafts for it. The front is too long, so I've got another one coming. The second one, the shocks. What I see a lot of times people doing or not doing is they don't use spacers to space things out correctly where they need to be. Like this, I use, as you can see, I use the Desert Lizards, and I space these out. They're about 5 millimeters out from the frame so they don't hit anything, and most importantly, so they're perpendicular to each other and not angled in. Because when you have a shock angled in, what you get is that shock getting torqued on the wrong side or one way, and that will lead to more leaking. And the last thing I'll talk about is the servo placement. I originally was going to run the servo like normal with this mount, but after looking at it, I want to maybe put the battery up here. I haven't decided, but I want some things to go up here. It's going to be hitting that plate without full compression. So I really want full compression. What I'm going to do, these capper axles, they come with the reverse mount servo. Looking for a low profile servo to put in there right now, because I don't want that big servo hanging down in the bottom. That defeats the purpose of portal axles, right? All right, so let's get this stuff taken care of and get on with it. Okay, if you're still here, thanks for sticking around to join me. I went ahead and put the servo behind axle. Now this one is the first one that I've done. I do have, it's the Injora servo, the 35 kg, which Crawler Canyon tests all kind of stuff. He's a YouTuber. I'm sure you've probably heard of him. If you like to get into the weeds, I'm talking deep into the weeds, on 1/10 scale crawlers, he has got you covered. Servo tier list, he's got tire tier list where he breaks them down what he feels is the best and why they're the best, so forth, so on. This is the first 35 kg Endura servo that I have tried, and it's rear mounted. I am going to change it because unfortunately it's got the wire sticking out the front, and I don't want that. Plus I want a low profile servo so I don't have the bottom of it hanging and sticking down past the axle. That's self-explanatory, I think. And also that brings me out to the tires. I have the new MEUS comp pins on here. Pretty narrow tire. Trio wheels on here. And I think the brass inserts are what is pushing me over. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try it with the brass inserts in here. And then maybe I'll take the brass inserts out, weigh it, see how much it weighs. But we're going to get a weight on this anyway to see exactly how much it weighs. I've got the Furitek Unity. I've heard they run a little hot sometimes. We'll see about that. Okay, let's get in here. I'm going to show you the body. I went with the Forge J-Concepts body. The bed's low, the cab is low. It's got a pretty cool look to it, pretty nice. Okay, I got it weighed. I'm going to put the weight up here on screen. As you'll be able to see, I don't have it right in front of me because I usually do my scales on my phone and I couldn't get it to come up on my iPad. So you just have to bear with me. I'm going to put it up here, like I said, on the screen. You can look at it for a minute if you want, but I think the forward bias is okay. I think it's 57 to 43 in the rear. And the left and right bias is not exactly where I want it to be because I have the battery. Got it over here on the right. In the future, there's a plate to put up here with the servo. I'm going to put the battery and the servo up here, I think. I wanted to be around about a 5-pound vehicle. What I might have to do is take these brass inserts out to get that where I want it. I'm going to get it hooked up, show you the lights with the body on. Okay, check this out. I hope this will come out and show on camera because it's a little darker in here. We'll see. Here we go. Boom. So what it does, this clear Lexan allows you to see that nice MEUS chassis, and it'll glow on the rocks at night. So I think that's pretty cool. I'm looking forward to getting that out and running it at night. Got a couple of modes. And I did put a light switch in here so I can control my lights. All right, we're about to get out and run this thing. Thank you guys for still staying with me. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Let me know down in the comments if you've built something similar to this, an LCG. If you have a 5-pound rig, if you run the brass inserts, tell me if that's what I'm getting wrong. Or if you see some things in this, let me know how to tune it. I'd love to hear your feedback, what you think's wrong, what you think's right, what you would do different. I read all my messages. Let's get outside. Let's see how this thing runs. It is loud. After this run on this night, the next day, I took it directly to a competition in Titusville, Florida at Dr. Dan's Crawl Space. However, I did learn a lot about this truck. One being, these axles are too wide for the competitions they hold over there. You need a more narrow truck, so I ordered some more MEUS nylon axles that are much more narrow. Also, since the competition, I have outfitted these MEUS narrow comp pins with the MEUS soft instead of extra soft inserts, and it helped out very well. It keeps the tires from folding over like you see right here. Wow, I think she's a climber. Thanks for sticking around. I have a couple of other videos here I'd like for you to go check out.